running a contracting business with your spouse and you feel completely drained by 2 p.m., even though you haven't actually finished anything productive, this video is for you.
For me, for you, buddy.
I've worked with dozens of husband and wife contractor teams, and I keep seeing the same pattern. They're working 60-hour weeks, but they can't figure out why they're so exhausted. They think it's workload, but it's not.
Then what is it?
After analyzing how successful contractor couples structure their days versus the struggling ones, I discovered something shocking. The most burned out couples aren't the ones doing the most work. They're the ones making the most decisions.
I have decided that
every time you decide which job to prioritize, every time you decide which supplier to call, every time you try to figure out how to handle a client issue, every time you debate where to eat dinner, you're draining a limited resource. And once it's gone, your ability to make good decisions is gone with it. And that's when the fights start. So in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you what decision fatigue actually costs your business and your marriage, why it's worse for contractor couples, and the simple systems that can give you back your mental energy. Welcome back to Built for Two, CEO Edition. Well, hey there. I'm Kimberly Ferguson, CEO and founder of The Emerald Edge. And around here, we help husband and wife business partners step out of survival mode and start building businesses that support their life, not swallow it. Today, we're talking about something that's probably affecting you right now, even if you don't realize it, and that's decision fatigue.
I'm just so tired. I'm so very tired.
Here's what's happening. You wake up with great intentions. You're going to communicate better today. You're going to be strategic, but by noon, you're already exhausted. By 3 p.m., well, you're snapping at each other over things that really shouldn't matter at all. And by dinner, you can't even decide where to eat without turning it into a thing.
I thought we were just having a nice, quiet dinner.
And you think, what's wrong with us? Why can't we just get along? But it's not about getting along. It's about understanding that your brain has a decision limit. And once you hit it, well, everything gets harder.
Well, my brain is fried.
So let's break down what decision fatigue is, how it's quietly destroying your business and maybe your marriage too, and how to fix it.
Ready to listen.
So let's start with decision fatigue. What is it? Decision fatigue is the deteriorating quality of decisions you make after a long session of decision making. Your brain treats every decision, big or small, like it's using the same mental fuel tank. And once that tank is empty, you start making worse choices.
I'm running on fumes.
So here's where contractor couples get hit especially hard. You're not just making business decisions, you're making them together, which means every decision requires discussion, negotiation, agreement, right? Should we take this job? Which supplier do we use? Do we need to order more materials? Can we afford to hire someone? What do we do about that difficult client? Who's picking up the kids today? What's for dinner? Did you pay that invoice? When are we taking the day off, huh? By the time you get to the end of the day, you've made hundreds of micro decisions, and your brain is, well, done. And that's why the smallest thing, like even eating dinner, can turn into a full-blown argument. It's not the decision. It's that you've already made 200 decisions before that one.
No more executive decision-making for you.
So what does decision fatigue actually cost you? Let's break it down. So first, it costs you money, right? When you're mentally exhausted, you make expensive mistakes. You order the wrong materials. You agree to scope creep because you don't have the energy to push back. You say yes to jobs you should say no to. You forget to invoice clients on time. You miss tax savings opportunities because you can't think clearly. I see this all the time with contractor couples. They're so exhausted from making decisions all day that by the time they sit down to look at their numbers, they just can't. So they avoid it. And avoidance, well, costs them thousands.
Ignoring a problem doesn't make it go away. It usually just makes it bigger.
Second, it costs you time. When you're decision fatigued, everything takes longer. You second guess yourself. You revisit decisions that you already made. You waste time debating things that should be automatic. Simple things that should take 10 minutes take an hour because you can't focus.
Eventually, I figured it out.
And third, and this is a big one for contractor couples, it costs you in your relationship. Decision fatigue makes you irritable, impatient, reactive. You snap at each other. You take things personally that aren't personal. You fight about stupid stuff because you don't have the mental bandwidth to regulate your emotions. And here's what makes it worse. When you work with your spouse, you can't escape it. You can't go home and decompress because home is work and work is home. You're making decisions together all day, and then you're supposed to go home and be romantic and connected? It doesn't work that way.
I'm glad someone finally said what we're all thinking.
So why is decision fatigue worse for contractor couples? 3 reasons.
Oh my God, are you saying there's more?
So first, you're making decisions in real time all day long. Construction doesn't wait, right? A crew member calls with a problem at 7 a.m., a client texts you at 9 with a change request, a supplier calls you at 11 with a delayed shipment. You're constantly in reactive mode, making decision after decision after decision after decision with no break, right?
But that's no way to live life.
And second, you're making these decisions together a lot of the time. The decision requires alignment. So even if you have a great partnership, that alignment takes mental energy. You have to communicate. You have to consider each other's perspective. You have to maybe negotiate. That's exhausting.
I can't stand it. I can't stay in here another second.
And third, you're making high stakes decisions. These aren't just like, what should we have for lunch decisions? These are, do we take this $50,000 job decisions? Do we fire this employee decisions? Can we afford this equipment decisions? The weight of those decisions compounds the fatigue. And here's what nobody tells you. The more decisions you make, the worse your decisions get.
I don't see how it could get any worse.
By the end of the day, when you're making decisions about your business, probably about strategy or financial planning or your marriage, you're making them with a depleted brain. So that's why many contractor couples feel stuck. They're trying to make their best decisions at the worst time.
It couldn't have come at the worst time.
So, how do you reduce decision fatigue? Well, I have a framework. So first, automate the small stuff. The goal is to eliminate as much low-value decisions as possible so you can save your mental energy for the high ones.
Automated.
So what could this look like? Create systems for recurring decisions. So what time do you start work? Same time every day. When do you order materials? Maybe the same day every week. When do you review your financials? Same day every month. When do you have your weekly business meeting? Same time, same place, same agenda? The more you can put on autopilot, the more mental energy you have for the decisions that actually matter. Steve Jobs wore the same outfit every day for this exact reason. He didn't want to waste decision-making energy on what to wear.
Job all day long. It's just decisions, decisions, decisions.
So second is batch your decisions. Instead of making decisions all day long as they come up, batch them into specific time blocks. So for example, maybe you set aside 1 hour in the morning to make all of your purchasing decisions for the week. Maybe you set aside 30 minutes in the afternoon to respond to all client requests. Maybe you set aside Friday afternoon to review and approve all invoices. When you batch decisions, you're using your mental energy more efficiently.
It's called batching.
And third, create decision-making frameworks. This one's huge. A framework is basically just a set of criteria that makes the decision for you. So for example, we only take jobs that are at least $10,000 and have a 30% profit margin, and they have to align with our schedule, right? And so when the next job comes in, you're not debating whether or not you take it. You're just running it through the framework. Yes, no, done.
No, yes, no, yes. No.
Another example is we only respond to client texts during business hours, unless it's an emergency. Now you're not constantly deciding whether to respond. The framework decides for you.
I'm sorry, rules are rules.
And fourth, and this is critical for contractor couples, assign decision ownership. Not every decision needs both of you. Decide who owns which type of decisions and trust each other to make them. For example, one of you owns purchasing decisions under $500. The other owns scheduling. Maybe you both own hiring decisions. Maybe you both own strategy decisions. Maybe one of you is better at one of those and you can separate them. When you assign ownership, you cut your decision load in half.
We need to divide and conquer.
Well said.
Now let me paint you a picture of a contractor couple. Let's say they do kitchen and bathroom renovations. Great work, solid reputation, but they're exhausted and constantly fighting. Now let's say this is you and your spouse. I bet you could easily count 150 decisions that you make before noon. And most of them are probably the same decisions that you made the day before or the week before or the month before. Which supplier do we call? What time do we start the job? Who's handling the client walkthrough? What do we do about that invoice? What if instead we implemented decision reducing systems? Maybe creating a weekly schedule that answers those recurring questions automatically. Maybe Monday is purchasing day. Maybe Tuesday is client communication day. Maybe Wednesday is job site day. We create decision frameworks for taking jobs, handling change orders, and managing cash flow. We assign decision ownership, who own field operations, who own client relations and financials.
That sounds amazing.
Within 2 weeks, you'll feel like different people. You'll have energy at the end of the day. You'll stop fighting about stupid stuff, or at least less about it, and start actually enjoying working together again. And here's the best part. Your business doesn't slow down. It speeds up because you stop wasting time debating every little thing.
I'm saving so much time.
You make decisions faster. You make better decisions because you start making them with a clear mind before the chaos kicks in. That's what happens when you reduce decision fatigue. You don't just feel better, your business actually runs better, and your marriage gets better. Everything gets easier.
This is going to change our life.
So let's bring this home. Decision fatigue isn't a character flaw. It's a biological reality. Your brain has limited capacity for making decisions, and once you hit that limit, everything gets harder. And for contractor couples, this is especially brutal because you're making decisions together all day long in high stakes situations. And then you're supposed to go home and be loving, patient, connected couple. It's just not realistic. But here's the good news. You can fix this. You can automate the small stuff. You can batch your decisions, and you can create frameworks that make the decisions for you. You can assign ownership so that you're not both carrying the full decision load. So when you do this, you get your energy back. You get your clarity back, and you honestly get your relationship back.
And I'm getting my life back too.
Here's what I want you to do this week. Track how many decisions you're making in a day. Just notice. Then pick a category of decisions: purchasing, scheduling, client communication, whatever. And create a system or framework that eliminates or reduces those decisions. And if you're a contractor couple who's tired of feeling exhausted and fighting over things that shouldn't matter, let's talk. Use the link below to connect with us. We help husband-wife teams build systems that reduce decision fatigue and create businesses that support your life, not drain it. Your business is supposed to give you freedom, not exhaust you. And reducing decision fatigue is one of the fastest ways to get that freedom back. So this has been Built for Two, where systems keep your business steady, strategy helps it grow, and building it with your soulmate makes the whole adventure worth it. Remember, every decision you don't have to make is energy you get to keep. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you in my next video.